What's happening, hermits? Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Janelle Talks About Whatever She Feels Like. Today, I'm going to be working on this painting a little bit and talking to you guys about whatever comes to mind. So, thank you for joining my channel. This is a painting that I am making for a friend of mine from back when I was in high school. She was a grade above me. She was really nice, even though she was like a popular kid. I wasn't. But she was always very friendly, very sweet. And so she asked me to please make her a painting of war ponies at the Grand Canyon. And we talked about themes and colors and everything. And she's going to put it in her recently pimped out RV that she was traveling the country with her husband, which has kind of a desert southwest theme to it right now. Now that friend actually right now is at Marine Officer Candidate School in Quantico. And probably not the type of person you would think of as being someone who would go to Marine Officer Candidate School. But she flew Blackhawks, and she was in the Army, and now she's switching branches. She's crossing over. And so good luck to her, and this should be finished for her by the time she wraps that up. So, whoops. Sometimes, folks, mistakes happen. So, what's going on in the world today? How's your day going? Mine is going pretty good, pretty normal. Well, I did just spill my paintbrushes, but I honestly only use probably about 6 to 10 of them on average. I have a whole lot more. There we go. And you know what? Rather than being facing away from you guys for this whole thing and painting like this, which would make me more comfortable, but I'm going to move it so you guys can kind of see my face, my beautiful shining face, and the really messy, the really messy porch where I work. Let me just make sure that that's on me. I'm sure it isn't, but gotta do what we can. There we go. Good gnog. That should be good enough. Normally I have a red apron on that I use for when I'm cooking. Not cooking, I'm sorry. I have another apron for that. Normally I have a red one on that I use when I'm painting. Couldn't find it today, and sometimes you just gotta get started without. So today what I'm doing is fixing some details on the yellow horse, and we actually might be washing him with a whole new color because I don't love how it looks almost like a green yellow. I really wanted him to be like a bay. I think that's the right word. And bays are more of a tan yellow, and he's kind of, the yellow I used obviously had some blue in it, and that's not what we want. I'm also going to be reworking his jaw today, if I can find the right paints. We're going to go ahead and start out with just some white. White is opaque, and so when you paint it down, it kind of covers over the layers behind it. And then some of the yellows that I use are actually translucent, and so if I just painted yellow over, you'd still be able to see all the details back there behind him. Let's see, what have I been doing recently? I have been working recently. You guys would be so proud of me. I've been working 5 days a week, 35-day work weeks, but full-time, which is a new thing for me. For the longest time, I really kind of had a problem with absenteeism, as they call it. Here, so we're going to make that horse's jaw just a little bit more like that. And so I've been doing that, and I recently bought myself, we're going to make it a little bit more like that. I recently bought myself an off-the-grid battery spark ignition gas-powered stove. I bought a 24-inch, I think it's the Summit. I would have got the 30-inch or the 20-inch because they were both about $100 cheaper, but they were all sold out. I did get it through the Home Depot. There was some other brands and stuff that we had seen online, but when I looked at those, they were, they were listed for cheaper, but the reviews weren't great, and there seemed to be something with the delivery where, like, it would basically be the same price as if I ordered it from one of the big box stores. If you feel I've made that ear shouldn't be there. If we're going to have his face turn this way, this ear should be here. If we're going to have a total, what's the word for that? Like a total lemon, then let me know in the comments, right? No, Neo, don't buy that. Don't buy that thing. It's the worst. I bought it and it exploded and killed my whole family. Hopefully that didn't happen. So let's see, what else have I been doing? I have been watching a lot of the YouTuber Bailey Sarian. She's beautiful. She talks about serial killers and horrific crimes and stuff while she does her makeup, and she's got a really sweet voice. And I think she treats the topics, appropriately, delicately. But she's really interesting, and I just kind of zone out and I can listen to her, and it's totally enthralling while she's talking. And if you're into doing makeup, which sometimes I am, but not to the level and expertise that she does it, then you might want to check her out. You should check her out anyway. She seems like a really sweet person. And maybe that's just her projecting it for the interweb, but I don't think so. She's got a really nice voice. I also recently watched a video from Jarl Anderson. Jarl spelled Jarl. He's a Norwegian YouTuber that I like to watch. He's a little bit younger than me, and he does, honestly, a lot of his stuff now is kind of like fitness, and he wrote a book about it, and he's been really into the fitness, but he also did like vloggy stuff. And if you know me at all, you know that I'm super obsessed with Norway. Hope to go one day. If I could, I would live there, but I don't see that in the cards. They're socialists, Neo. They're communists. Don't you know they're killing their babies and being overrun with Muslims? Okay, well, I don't know what you've been watching, but try talking to a real-life Norwegian, and you'll find that is not the case, and things are not so desperate there. Also, Norway has been consistently listed as one of the happiest countries in the world for like the past 15 years or something. Education's great, climate appeals to me. But anyway, so he's from there, and he recently participated in a kind of a survival challenge that a company did in Norway for a popular Norwegian, like, influencers or whatever. And it's really funny what makes someone an influencer over there, because Norway only has, like, I think it's 4 million, it's probably 4 to 5 million people total, Norwegians. And so, like, someone that they think of, and is, over there, very famous, is, like, they still have a much smaller following than, like, an American who's really famous, To be, like, a big YouTuber, you probably have, like, multiple millions of people following you. So, that's interesting. But anyway, and they go and they do these little survival kind of challenges, and I just think it's really interesting that they took, these influencers, and they already know what they're doing, because in Norway, the outdoor culture, like hiking, backpacking, skiing, going up into the mountains, it's kind of born and bred into the people, right? Even the ones who live in, like, Oslo or Bergen, which is their big cities. There's a saying that Norwegians are born with skis on their feet. So, but they have, like, start a fire and do stuff like that as a part of other competitions, obstacle courses and stuff. You should watch it. It's good. It was very entertaining for me. And there's subtitles, or it may even be in English, one or the other. But, if you took a bunch of American influencers and threw them out there, I don't think they would have a clue what they were doing. Like, even in the little fire making part, you can see them, they're, like, making kindling and stuff first. I mean, I think they give them just, like, a couple of cut pieces of wood, but you can see them, like, ripping it apart to do that. And I just think that's really cool. Wouldn't it be great to raise your kids in a place where it was totally normal to know how to do basic survival skills, and it was considered fun and, like, trendy, and it was something that your influencers did? I think that'd be pretty cool. Let's see, what else? Been working. I've been applying for jobs. At my new job, I love it. The work is easy, and I'm good at it. However, I want something that's significantly more intellectually stimulating. So if you guys don't know, I have a degree, double majors with honors from a Tier 1 research university that I have not got to put to work yet, and I would like to. I really, really like researching, whether that's online or sitting in a library, sifting through dusty tomes. I have experience with office work, The fax, the multi-line system, the printing so it's collated and it's got 3-hole punch and everything else. All that stuff. You know, if it's in a modern office place, I know how to use it. I've also got experience with sorry, I'm working on a part of the horse. Also have experience with managing children's behavior, which I know that's not super applicable, right? That's not really kind of mentally challenging. But what it has allowed me to have, and which I kind of already had, but, you know, allowed me to work on, is being very confident when I speak and being really good at breaking a process down into steps to make sure it gets done right? Because if you wanted, you could tell a gaggle of children, or high schoolers, you know, hey, any of them, all right, do this, this, and this, do it. And they'd be like, Miss Neo, how do I get started? How do I do this? How do we get this done? And so you really, rather than just throwing people at something, which is actually kind of how I prefer to do it, because I like to make my own way, you know. I can follow instructions for sure, but I really like the challenge of like, hey, get this done, and just see that it gets done, you know, whatever way you want to do it, awesome. But, so I'm good at instructing others in how to do something. You cut it down into the easy steps, and you feed it to them one at a time. So there's that, and I have interests in a lot of different areas, but yeah, I'm looking for something in an office that would be intellectually stimulating and that would require, hopefully, like a lot of kind of paperwork type stuff, but if necessary, you know, teaching or instructing rather, not teaching. I don't want to teach because the pay is horrible, and if you're lumped with a bad administrator, you are lumped with them, at least for the year, and at least in the state of Kansas. If you want to quit before your contract says that you're finished for the year, then you actually lose your teaching license. So you can't be a teacher anymore, even if your boss is horrible. So I don't want to teach, but instructing, you know, training, that kind of stuff really interests me. What are you guys doing? What have you been doing recently? What is your job? Do you recommend it? How did you get into it? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you guys want to see finished product here, then you should probably go ahead and follow me on Instagram. My art Instagram is @artistjanellefox. Should be pretty easy to find. And my personal one, which won't have my art on it for the most bit, but if you want to follow it, is @creepyyeehaw. And if you can find one, you can find the other, because I do believe they're linked. So, there you have it. Alright, thanks for stopping in today. See you later, everybody! Bye!